Hi guys, welcome to this upload for you guys today on Wrestling Fan Open Mic Night. Thank you ever so much for tuning in. All I can say is I want to update you guys before I get onto the main focus. As you may or may not know already, I mentioned on my last video, I didn't talk about all the releases that WWE did because I was not in the right headspace at the time. Um, because I was thinking about my friend Mark Izzard. Um, all I can say is to you guys is, even though it's been like 2 days since I found out the news by the news, just by googling his name. This was before it literally went everywhere. I was googling his name to see if anything pops up, like new stuff, and then I think it's Las Vegas Reporter or something, or Journaler, or whatever it's called. I can't even think even now. It's still so surreal that Mark was found dead on Monday the 18th. Now, myself and friends don't think he made it to WrestleMania. He watched SummerSlam. That was the last sighting of him, technically. And we think that he missed WrestleMania because obviously not being alive. Now, all I can say is to every one of you guys out there, I went the same process with my friend Hollywood that passed away 3 years ago. That's how my head feels right now. I'm in good spirits, don't get me wrong. And it's still hard to process. And there is a GoFundMe going around. I'll leave it in the link in the description so you can donate if you want to donate. You don't have to. I'm not bullying anyone into it. And I tell you one thing, if Mark didn't believe how popular he was, think again. Just just to give him a good send off and good um to get his body back to the UK, it's £30,000. I don't know what that's in dollars or wherever you are in the world that's watching this. Now, I literally want to say this to everyone. Chris Jericho's donated 1100. You got the likes of Gabe Kidd. There's dropped 1,000. There's a list of wrestlers that's on the donation list. I don't like when people make donation and put anonymous donation. I don't like that idea when people do that. You should be proud of you donated to someone that you may know or don't know. But it just proves how much of an impact that Mark has made into people's lives, even if they were a professional wrestler that's meeting him or met him. You know, you don't realize how much life is so precious. And I'm trying not to cry again. You know, you just talk about it and you cherish every moment. You only live once, as the old saying goes, but it rings true. It really fucking rings true. But it's mad to think that when I look at that GoFundMe, that proves that the outcry, there is good people in this world. You know, there was good people that were doing videos from the world of TikTok to the world of YouTube, doing videos to try and find him, let alone talk about like the GoFundMe account. You know, this proves how much I've been stressing for a while. Wrestling is a family. The reason why I've been stressing that for many years, since when Stephen Hollywood passed to when fucking Stephen Hollywood and myself used to say on Boys on Tour. You know, Boys on Tour, yeah, I could say the reason why that didn't work is because we didn't have the money to back it. As much as the outcry that people wanted to support it, did we thought about doing a GoFundMe for that? No. We wanted to fund it out of our own pocket to bring entertainment, but obviously it did get quite expensive because obviously sometimes we didn't get to shows, sometimes we did this, but end of the day, Boys on Tour was a great run. And I know Mark enjoyed watching Boys on Tour vlogs when that was available. Um, a lot of that we did actually lose due to a company I want to keep nameless, WWE, went on a warpath, flagged all the videos down. Some of it, some of the stuff that we've done on Boys on Tour would, like some of my vlogs are over on Daily Motion because obviously I can't put them on YouTube because of obviously where WWE is. Well, because obviously I can't put those onto here. But I know full well Mark watched every single one of those. You know, Mark, if you only knew the outcry that you brought, the impression you've put on the wrestling world, it just proves how much of a stubborn arsehole you was in your ways and so on. But people did care about you and still care about you now. And it's crazy to think that strangers want to help out. You know, it's mad to think when I look, over 600 people donated already. It just blew my mind when I woke up this morning and I see it halfway. That proves how much people cherish Mark, to have him around. Now, we could say he was the soul of the party, but that sounds so generic. But that's not Mark. Mark was giving so much, but the thing is, Mark always went that extra mile. He literally would go that extra mile, you know, just to help people. I think back in 2012 that he literally reserved as a seat at a wrestling show, myself and Ollie, with him. He went out of his way to do that from row. Why do you think? Why do you think when I was literally going to shows, I was adamant always to be sitting front row? That's the reason why, because of Mark. You know, I don't mind sitting elsewhere now because obviously with wrestling shows getting expensive, not sitting front row. You know, I like to see the atmosphere in as long as what I'm seeing in the ring. You know, because you gotta live it and breathe it. Yeah, sitting ringside's one thing, but to see the fans in unison, to chanting the heels, to chanting the boos, to the random chants, the unique fan base, what we've got here in the United Kingdom when we do random chants that make sense to us, to live it, to breathe it, to love it, of professional wrestling. That's what it's all about, isn't it, guys? Well, you cherish those sort of moments when you think that one guy did make an impact and he's still making an impact today in spirit. I'm just hoping I can say goodbye to him at the funeral, wherever that will be here in the United Kingdom. I'm hoping I'll be there. Thank you, Mark. We may have literally had your different opinions on professional wrestling. Sometimes you've never liked my opinion, but that's what it's all about, you know? That's what it's all about in professional wrestling. You got to think that. You can never always think the same. It'd be a boring world if everyone thought the same. You'd be agreeing all the time. Even times we've been in heated debates, me and Mark, to the point where I think he's blocked me on Facebook, where I couldn't even fucking see his Facebook. But at the end of the day, he may have been a stubborn arsehole, but he was our stubborn arsehole. Our friend. What a legend. Thank you, Mark. But anyway, on to the main focus. I know I went on a bit. I do apologise. I really do apologise. I didn't. I'm just speaking from the heart to you guys. I've not actually got round to speaking about Mark since he passed. Even though, yes, I'm in a group chat with his close friends. Some of his close friends would say that was on the hunt for him. Obviously, I've expressed my feelings towards certain things. Oh, days. Not crying, guys. I've got an itch in my eye. Allergy season. Yay! That's not an excuse. I've had plenty of tears over Mark. You know, the main focus I want to talk about on this video is, granted, I've not watched Dynamite yet. So at the moment, I'm not in the right mindset to focus on professional wrestling, if you know what I mean. Because obviously, Mark. But I saw this clip when I was scrolling TikTok about Will Ospreay. He looks like he's joining the Death Riders. Now, this is such an intriguing segment where it could lead. Because I love the way they did it like a dungeon sort of esque, where the Death Riders are training and preparing for matches and so on. Beautiful segment. Because it literally leaves it wide open. But in my mind, and playing in my mind the way it's going, is I feel if this is going to be a long builded storyline, it's going to be fucking beautiful. The end product, hands down, it's going to be the end product. The way it's playing in my mind, I feel like Could they be building up towards him doing 2 journeys on this, and it ends the way I'm hoping it's going to end? Right? The start of the journey with all the training and that lot, building towards Don Callis' family versus the Death Riders. Then, after that, where it all ends, Will Ospreay turns his back on his mentor, the leader of the Death Riders, Jon Moxley, and leads into a match between Jon Moxley versus Will Ospreay, and Will Ospreay finally gets the win. Because he's never beaten Will Ospreay's never beaten Jon Moxley at his own game. And one way to take him down is to infiltrate the den, the dungeon, whatever you want to get it as. You learn from the master, and then you turn on the master, and you finally beat Jon Moxley at his own game because you've learned your craft from the Death Riders and Jon Moxley. If that way that you go with, I was thinking when I would say this, I'll be honest with you, right? Even though this could be a long builded storyline, I was thinking when I saw the post with Will Ospreay at Wembley with the hood up and everything, I was thinking he was gonna have a heel run. Now people saying they weren't expecting it from Will Ospreay. Now the thing is with the Death Riders at the moment in AEW, they started off as a heel faction. Then they turned them face for a bit. Then by looks of it, I feel like they turned them heel once again. And I want to say this. The way I play it in my mind, quite honestly for you guys at home, is Will Ospreay doing this is giving another entity towards what Will Ospreay can do. I've seen it on the Indies where he's actually been a heel. I've seen it where he's been a face. And the reason why I say this is technically a big risk to do this storyline, the way it's playing in my mind, what I actually saw by that clip alone, is because Will Ospreay is technically the face of AEW at the moment. Even though you've got the likes of Darby Allin and everything, but the catch is, even MJF obviously, I feel like for them to do this will be so perfect because not say as such turn his back on his own fans, but could do. But with Will Ospreay, he always goes, no pardon the pun, he goes all in everywhere he goes. And so say, yeah, fair enough. He's going over to New Japan to prepare for that, for the Death Riders. And if Moxley's nurturing him like a little baby that turns on his back at some point down the line, could we see him be a heel in for All In? Could we? I want to say this, right? I was thinking this, right? I know this sounds a long shot, but people are predicting Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega at Wembley. A lot of people are predicting certain things, but I've got a gut feeling, I don't know why. It could actually happen still, don't get me wrong, but I've got a gut feeling. I've had this gut feeling since when he went out at Forbidden Door. He faced Jon Moxley. I feel after the last night and the way I'm thinking, could we see Will Ospreay versus Jon Moxley at Wembley? Will Jon Moxley be having the title by then? Or could this is just me being me? But the catch is, people are predicting that Will Ospreay is going to be world champion at Wembley. Okay, but if we don't get that, I have a really hunch that we could have Will Ospreay versus Darby Allin. If Darby Allin has a long title run, yeah, he's defended it twice. Yes, I saw clips from the match from Brody King. I will watch Dynamite, don't get me wrong, but I want Darby to prove people wrong, being the world champion. Not have a short run, but I feel like could he have that title all the way up to the new pay per view redemption? Is that where MJF actually gets his redemption, gets the title back, or does he continue on? Darby Allin continuing proving people wrong. The underdog story so perfectly. We could actually see Darby Allin versus Will Ospreay for the World Heavyweight Championship and then take it off him there. And what a screwy thing would be to do at Wembley Stadium in your home country. He wins the title, but hands it over to Jon Moxley, saying, "There you go, here's your title back." You know, there's so many scenarios at the moment playing in my mind with Will Ospreay after just seeing that segment alone. It's that intriguing and interesting TV at the moment. That is going to be gold. That could be another golden goose storyline that AEW's putting together. You know, when I watch AEW, I want to say this. I always turn fantasy booker. Everyone turns fantasy booker in their own wrestling realm, like predictions of like WrestleMania matches, etc. like that for next year. You know, whatever company you watch, you always turn fantasy booker. Hey, I've done it with fucking independent wrestling here in the United Kingdom. You know, and then with me and Marcus have had discussions at wrestling shows, even with my good old friend Ollie over from TNS Attitude, Total Stop Action. All I can say is it just plays in our minds. Even the likes of fucking Paddy from Wrestling Nerds, you know, it just proves that wrestling can be predictable, but sometimes it's unpredictable, and that's what I like about AEW and love about AEW, that unpredictability. I'll get this off my chest now. I feel like WWE is more corporate than ever before, you know, and that's just me being honest. I just love what AEW has to offer as wrestling fans. But that's just my thoughts and opinions. Tell me your thoughts down in the comments, please do. Anyway, I'm off. I'll catch you guys soon for another video here on Wrestling Fan Open Mic Night. And remember, if you want to donate to the GoFundMe account, please do. It's in the link down below. Thanks guys for listening. Till next time. Catch you guys later.